I want to record some more stuff here that I thought of while I was sitting here thinking about things. One of them I want to be sure that when I was way back there when I was making one of these, I was trying to name some these dairy places like ships. I think I mentioned Oak Farms and another one, but there's also another one that I forgot to mention, and that was Ships Dairy. And also there was another guy that there was a couple of people I was talking about that really preached the Bible. One of them was Pastor Manning up in New York, and the other one was Dr. Peter Ruckman there in the northern part of Florida. I want to be sure to mention those two guys. And then there was another one of these that I made. It. My father's sister had two children, and I could only remember one of them, which was Joe Murray, but she had another child, and I remembered her name. It was Marcella Kettle. Now, Marcella Kettle was a nurse. She was a registered nurse. I've only seen her maybe 2 or 3 times. And, Lord, she's kind of a small woman. But gosh, when she would show up, man, she had on lipstick and she had on kind of face powder, make her face look. She was really spiffy, boy. I ain't kidding you. You know, had her hair all fixed nice. She didn't live out in our part of town. When she got that registered nurse award thing, working for them doctors and everything while shoot fire, she moved out there in the north part of town. I don't know whether it's University Park or Highland Park or where it was, but she got out of South Dallas. Boy, that's for sure. She only came out there every once in a while, I think, to see her brother, and probably may even been when her mother was still alive. I can't remember. I just remember seeing her once, twice. But everybody talked about her being a registered nurse. Holy moly. You know, wow. You know, none of us had that kind of training or education. We just old country folks. And gosh, she was a city folks up there in them big hospitals or something. I don't really know where she worked. It couldn't prove it by me. You know. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about the time that, you know, I had an experience once where I got to sneezing, and man, I lost my breath. And I mean, actually, I thought I was going to die. Now, I didn't have one of them experiences like some of these folks talk about, you know, seeing the white light and some angel or something flying. Man, I was scared to death. It wasn't nothing like that. I don't believe all this stuff that some of these folks say. Man, I really thought I was going to die. And I'm not going to kid you. I started praying a lot. You know, boy, I was trying to ask for all the forgiveness for all the things I'd done wrong, and you know, and everything. I tried to think. You don't have a lot of time, you know, but I honest God, when you draw your last breath, you ain't dead yet. I mean, your mind is still working. So, for all you folks out there that are atheists, you bear in mind you got one last chance. If you don't get just bombed and killed all the second, if you just sort of die a little at a time, you got one last chance. You know, I wanted to tell you about that, because, I mean, as much as I dislike you folks and wish all of you go straight to hell, I thought I might tell you that, you know, before when you're going to die, you got one last chance, you know, because even when you draw your last breath and you can't get no more of them in there, you can't suck no more breath into your body, your mind is still going to work for just a little while. You know, I just thought I might mention that to you guys, you know. But I'll get off that subject because I really don't care to say to you pieces of crap anyway, but I thought about that. But I remember when I was a little kid, my father never really paid much attention to me. But I do remember, and I don't know how I do this, because, boy, it's got to be a long time ago. My goodness. I couldn't have been over 4 or 5 years ago. That's got to be nearly 80 years ago. But I remember my daddy sitting in a chair, had me on his knees, and he was kind of halfway singing some songs to me. One of them is something like went to the effect of, "Did you ever sleep at the foot of the bed when the wind was a whizzing cold, and the bed bugs danced around your head, and the moon was yeller as gold?" I don't know how in the world I thought of that. My goodness, that's been close to 80 years ago. I couldn't, when I thought of it, it kind of almost brought tears to my eyes. I was thinking, my gosh, ain't that something? I remember something that happened that long ago. And my dad never, I don't know how come I think about my dad paying any attention to me, because he wasn't the type of person to do that kind of thing. Boy, it's like when I got old enough to work for him, I mean, we wasn't no hugging family. You see TV where everybody, when they see each other, God, they run to each other, God, they just hug, hug, hug. We never hugged, I don't know where they get all that stuff. I've never seen anybody dead. Only time I ever got hugged, I lost $100,000. What can I say? I mean, that's the truth, but I ain't going to talk about that. That's kind of personal, But anyway, I also remember another one that my dad used to bounce me on his knees, and he would say, I don't know if he sung this one or just said it, but it went something like, "Old Dan Tucker was a fine old man. He washed his face in a frying pan, combed his hair with a wagon wheel, died with a toothpick in his heel." Oh my goodness, how in the world I remember those? Man, we're going back, good gosh almighty, we're going back, oh Lord have mercy, we got to be going back 80 years. I mean, I was a little bitty feller. I was a little bitty feller when I heard that, Oh Lord. One other thing that I just happened to remember, when I was in the Marine Corps, of course I'm jumping around all over the place, but what the heck, this is for posterity. I want to save all these things and put them in a bundle and try to save them, put them somewhere, and let them open it 50 years from now. Let people know 50 years from now how not all you folks, a lot of you folks out there grew up in a lot better circumstances than I did, but you couldn't have had any more fun or loved life any more than I did. But at any rate, it's like getting back in the Marine Corps. When I was stationed with the Navy up in close up there on Treasure Island between San Francisco and Oakland, and there's a little base out there, a big naval base. And I was the only guy they had I was in the barracks with a bunch of Navy boys, and I was the only one. I was the only Marine in there. They had junk on the bunk inspection one day, and I mean, here's all these swabbies with all these standing in front of their beds with their they had their blue suits on, boy. I mean, heart of mercy, white, I can't remember, white or blue, I can't remember, God. Anyway, here I was, the only green suit in the whole darn place. And I don't know what this officer was when he come through there. I don't know if he's a commander, a lieutenant, or a heck fire. I don't know. He had on some impressive looking uniform. It didn't look like him swabbies. He's obviously a officer of some kind. But he come up and he come to me. Boy, I'm telling you, he was all bent out of shape. "What are you doing in here? Pack up this stuff off that bed and you get out of here." I said, "Yes, sir. Boy, I got rid of it. I put all that junk that I had on the bunk and put it back in my locker. Boy, I headed for the door. And I said, whoopee. I said, I ain't never got to stand no junk on the bunk inspection no more. But that wasn't all. They packed me. They picked me to be guard duty at night. I had to stay up all night, and guard the barracks and everything in case these bad people from across the world come over and parachuted into our base and whatever. I mean, I didn't even have a gun, you know, but I was guarding the place. Boy, I mean, they told me to guard it, and that's what I was going to do, you know. I walk up and down them. I tried to be as diligent as I could about the thing. After all, I was supposed to be a I was supposed to be one of them old big bad Marines, you know. Forgive me, Marines. I'm not mocking. Boy, there ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna mock you folks. I mean, I didn't really belong with you. You guys are tougher than. Oh my goodness, you tough folks. I just a little punk kid, you know. I mean, Lord. But anyway, what I was gonna tell you, that guard duty turned out to be a heck of a good deal, because it had a little desk and a little office thing there, and I got to looking through that thing. And darned if there wasn't a Liberty Pass book there, that all you got to do is, I mean, it was already signed by the officer in charge. All I had to do is sign my name. Man, I made me out 4, 5, 6 of them darn things. You know, I don't remember whether they took the pass up when I left the base or not, but I just had open gate liberty. I just go anytime I wanted to, and I didn't have anything to do in the base. I could. If I had the money, I could go into San Francisco and walk around, or go over to Oakland or whatever. That was one heck of a deal, man. I mean, you know, I guess all them swabbies and all them Navy boys, they probably, I don't know how you get selected to do that guard duty like that at night, but I'm sure they selected me. All them swabbies got together and selected me, because nobody else wanted to stay up all night. And you know, and then have to work the next day, and you know, and anyway, I got it. Well, but of course, I slept the biggest part of the time. You know, I don't know what they'd have done. I don't know what they'd have done to me if they ever walked in that little office thing there where that guard duty thing was and caught me snoring on them chairs. They'd probably court-martialed me or something, or maybe they shot me at dawn. I don't know, you know. But anyway, I found that doggone book where it had all them gate passes and things, and I wrote me up enough to where I didn't have to worry about when I got ready, if I got any money and got ready to go to town, well, I had me a pass to go. I remember that. I got into some of the darndest things. I mean, I'm sure they were trying to punish me, and it turned out to be one heck of a good deal. I'm sure they didn't know about them, and Swabbies didn't know about them free passes in them drawers in that desk in there, or they'd have been probably falling all over each other trying to get in there and get them, you know. But once I found them, and I got me a bunch of them, I hid them dudes so nobody else could get them, you know. Ah, Lordy. Ah, gosh, I don't know. The good Lord has just had a lot of fun with me. You know, he just bashed me around like a ping pong ball. Boy, he hits me on one side of the table and run around there and whops me back on the other side. I'm just bangity-doo, doopity-doo, doopity-doo, you know. God, it's been oh, Lord God, folks. I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. I mean, I'm 84 now and I ain't got much longer to go, but boy, I've enjoyed this ride up to now. It has been a hilarious ride. There's no way I can tell you how great it's been. I sit back now and I watch stuff, and I'm kind of by myself now, you know. I can't work no more, and I just sit and look at the TVs and stuff, and contemplate, and things run through my mind, and I just had to put this stuff down. I just felt like I ought to die with all this good stuff in my mind. I need to get it out here. Somebody, you know, 50 years from now or whatever, might get a big kick out of this. I'm sure the world's going to be a lot different 50 years from now than it has been for the last 80 for me, you know. But they might get a kick out of seeing old Clem the Diddle Hopper going through life. God Almighty. Oh, Lord, I know everybody made fun of me when I was young, you know, because I was so countrified. But, you know, the more fun they made of me, the more fun I had. Shoot. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Well, we'll end this one.